Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiani. Today we're going to be discussing manifesting through circumstances. When you're manifesting, there is 3D circumstances that you may experience, and it's only the past story, your old story. So you can literally manifest through the circumstances. All you have to do is to continue to be persistent in your affirmations, visuals, whatever. So what you need to understand about being consistent and persisting through the circumstances is that anything can happen. Anything is possible. You just need to remember that you're in a transitioning place. Like, you're transitioning from what you used to believe to what you are currently believing. So as you transition, you have to remember that there are circumstances that can pop up, but when they do, you don't have to react. You don't need to react. I mean, if you do, whatever, but you really don't need to react because you know that you're changing your story. But if you do react, you need to just continue to keep affirming, affirm, or whatever method that you do. Then you can get out of the circumstances, because the circumstances it's really not real. It's not a set in stone situation unless you are accepting it to be. And then if you're accepting the 3D as it's set in stone, then yeah, the circumstances won't get better. But anything can happen. People can come in from many different places and they can change your circumstances. Everybody that's in your reality is there to basically give you the experience that you are identifying with and accepting. So you need to state that you want a specific story, and everybody's going to show up to give you that story. So I have an example. I literally had a crazy story. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I mainly had to rush and get out of my old apartment because my lease was up. I had to hurry up and get another apartment. It was very expensive. The rent, it went up skyrocket, and it was like a luxury apartment. So it just, the rent was up, it was high, and I needed to hurry up and get out of that apartment. I only had a week. Keep in mind, I already extended my time there. I think I was there for like an extra month, because I was gonna renew my lease there, but whatever. That story doesn't even matter. It was a situation with that. We're not even gonna get into that because it doesn't exist. So, new story, I was looking to get an apartment. Now, when I was looking to get this apartment, I had only a week, right? So that was my circumstances. I had 1 week to move. When I was looking for apartments, I didn't really know where to look. I had no clue, really. I kind of was, I was confused because I was letting the 3D kind of like, get the best of me, and it was kind of making me feel like, oh my gosh, like you're in a panic mode, especially that kind of circumstances. I was in a very panic mode. However, I didn't waver. I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna sit and really take my time, as far as like trying to find areas. Even though I was on a time crunch, I still was looking at places and not like really trying to let myself panic as much. So I had 3 apartments down, like listed, that I was gonna look at, and I wanted something more closer to this specific area that I used to live in, because I liked the area, but I wasn't really living there for too long when I first moved. So I was like, you know what, I would like something in that area. And then I literally was, I was feeling like I wanted to get the same kind of apartment, not exactly the same thing, but kind of the same kind of model. So I was envisioning that as well, getting like the same kind of apartment. And literally, I needed to move within a week. The person that I spoke to, like my agent, she was perfect. She understood. She was very understanding to my situation. She was very understanding and knowing that I needed to be out of my old apartment within a week. She basically showed me the apartments. She showed me a few different models. She let me put in my paperwork as far as the apartment. I put in my paperwork, everything, application, everything. The application fee wasn't a lot. Just in general, the amount of money wasn't a lot. It was it was pretty decent. And then I literally was like, just still affirming through, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I think it started to be like the middle of the week. I'm like, I really need to, like, get this thing going. She was on top of it. She spoke to her management. She let them know what was going on. Literally, they did not ask me for anything. They didn't ask me for pay stubs. They didn't ask for anything. I don't even think they did a credit check, if I'm going to be honest. Like, they really didn't do anything. So I finally got the call, I think Thursday or Wednesday, probably Thursday or Wednesday, that I got the apartment. I was completely approved, no problem. I didn't have to do anything to get approved, but basically do the application, and that was it. I was approved. And I got my keys on Friday. I literally got my keys on Friday, and I moved in with no problem. And my apartment is basically the same as my old apartment, even right down to me, like, furnituring my apartment, like putting furniture in my apartment. It is exactly the way that I envisioned it. So you can manifest through circumstances, even when it is a time crunch. You just need to keep yourself calm and in a calm state as much as possible, because you don't want to start reacting to what you're seeing in the 3D. I know it could be kind of hard, because that was kind of getting a little challenging, but I stuck to the story. I affirmed for my new story, and I wasn't giving up. And I literally got my manifestation literally that Wednesday or that Thursday. So that's letting you know how much you have to continue to keep being persistent right down to the very end, because I got it on Friday. I needed to move on Friday. I got my keys on Friday. So you need to persist that much, because you can get whatever it is that you desire. You just have to keep being on top of your thoughts, and you can't allow the 3D to tell you what's going on. The 3D is just a reflection of your old story, your old past beliefs. Now that you're moving into a different state, a different version, you don't allow it to tell you who you are. You know who you are because you made the story. You made your own story. So because you made the story of being this new version, you don't allow it to tell you about an old story. That's like an old friend coming to you and telling you that you're like, I don't know, let's say you used to be a class clown, I guess. Like, let's use that. You used to be a class clown in school, but like now you're very mature, and your personality may seem a little bit more serious, and that's like your friend, your old friend, high school friend, telling you that you're still like a class clown. And it's like, no, I'm not. I don't even act like that anymore. That's what you have to do when the 3D come up. You can't like accept it. You need to be like, what? That's not, I don't even act like that anymore. That's not me. You have to identify with who you truly are versus who you used to be. I think that's where people get confused at. Yeah, the 3D is a version of you in the past, who you used to be. Now you are a new version, and this 3D is not familiar with that version because you haven't been this version for a long time, to where it is now in your mind and it's literally a dominant belief. So your mind is going to naturally keep throwing little thoughts out there to represent the old version because that's what it's used to. The minute that you become dominant and you keep checking it left and right, it's only going to create and focus on a new story. Remember, you just need to keep focusing on what it is that you want, not what you don't want, because it's just going to keep reflecting the old story that you don't want. So focus on a new story, be persistent in the new story. Don't look at the circumstances, because that's exactly why I was able to get my manifestation exactly when I needed it. I didn't look at the 3D. I didn't look at the circumstances. Yes, the circumstances is there and you need it. You know what I mean? You need things to get done, but you also need to remember that it's going to happen. You have to trust. Even when you kind of feel like, oh my gosh, this is really gonna work? Like I need to like know if this is gonna work. You need to trust and keep pushing yourself. Push that new version to be confident that, you know what, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. And you have to literally build your faith, build your trust in the unseen, because you have no clue on what's happening behind, you know, closed doors with other people. I literally had somebody that was understanding to my situation. She was the perfect person. Like, honestly speaking, the other agents, they were cool, they were nice, but she understood my situation. She was very relatable. She was a mom. She just moved from where she was, you know, currently at, and she gave me a heads up on the apartment, and oh, it's easy, don't worry about it, I'll get you in on Friday. I totally understand. So that's what I'm saying. Your circumstances don't matter. You naturally get just what it is that you need for this manifestation to come through, and for it to be the least resisting, you know, kind of situation. With her, I had no issues. It happened immediately, even, and she was on top of everything. So you have to just let things happen and not try to control things so much. You're controlling it up here in your brain. You don't need to control it as far as the 3D physically, because there's nothing that you're going to be able to do in the 3D that's going to change your circumstances. Which you can, I mean, unless you have a inspired action, but other than that, you don't need to do anything but affirm, and think about the new story, and affirm the new story, and persist in the new story. You don't have to do anything else. Everything else is going to work out. It will work out. And if you need to say that, maybe you may need to say that in front of your affirmations. You could say, I trust and believe that I am a master at manifesting. I trust and believe that I will manifest whatever I desire. I trust and believe that manifesting is so easy. Whatever, you know what I mean? It's just because it will naturally start to feel like, yeah, I do trust and I believe it. And you just have to accept that you have the power, not the 3D. Focus on who you are. If you're saying that you are this new version, literally continue to keep feeding your brain that you're the new version, and you will be, okay? I believe that this video has completely helped everyone that clicked on it, and I believe everybody that clicked on this video will manifest all of their desires easily, okay? If you guys have any success stories, please drop them in the comments so that everybody is able to just experience that it's real, that manifestation is real, and then they can prove to themselves what it is that they need to do to make manifesting more easier for them. But I thank you guys for looking at my